Hello, my lovely Redmare crew. This is tea time, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity to talk to you about something quite. Oh, look, who's coming? Quite serious. Who's coming? Is someone coming? Without me getting distracted by trying to do stuff with the Redmare. And it's so funny. Posse coming. Yeah, it's all right. It's just your girls. Yes, it is. Oh, please don't tip that over. Bean? Thank you. Anyway, the question was, and it came from someone on a really good horse group that I belong to. And it was such a good question that I asked her if I could pinch it and talk about it in a Redmare video. And the question was this, was what happens, or what do you do when you get stuck and you're afraid of asking for help because you fear that you're going to be judged and thought stupid? And the reason I really wanted to take that question is it's something I see with my writers all the time. The parallels between writing and horsing are so strong that I hop from one to the other all the time. But both of them feature this fear of being judged. And the fear of being judged and found wanting, found stupid, found not good enough go really deep. Look, there's a posse. And I think go back to the dawn of the species, of the human species, when we were very vulnerable and the only way that we could survive was by being in the group, in the tribe. And so if we got cast out of that tribe, we would be eaten by the woolly mammoths or the saber-toothed tigers or just die of starvation. And I think the modern human brain, the amygdala, which is the ancient part, you know, the part that survives from the dawn of humanity and the part that kept us safe from woolly mammoths, I think that part of the brain sees rejection, i.e. someone thinking you're being a fool with your horse, or you know, failing a dressage test, or in the case of writers having a book rejected. I think the amygdala feels that rejection, that judgment, as a case of life and death, because it's the equivalent of being cast out of the tribe. And I think that's why we humans are so disproportionately afraid of being judged and found stupid and found wanting and found not good enough. And the reason I go into all that is that I find if I know what's going on, then I feel very reassured and I feel more equipped to deal with it. So if I can just say, oh, okay, that's my amygdala, that's my limbic system, that's me being thrown into the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight, flight and freeze, because I've got this subliminal terror of being thrown out of the group, out of the tribe. I mean, think how strongly the need to belong is. So if I can understand all that, I think, oh, okay, I know what's happening. And then what I can do is, and I've talked about this before, is I can reset my nervous system. I can put myself back into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and relax. And that means that my prefrontal cortex, which is the reasoning part of my brain, the grown-up part of my brain, can come back online. And it can say to me, it can explain to me the truth of what's really going on, which is this fear of being judged, this fear of being thought stupid, is just a thought. It's not real. And once I know that, I then can remind myself that I can change my thoughts. And I can say to myself, look, I have a choice. I cannot ask for help because I'm so afraid of being judged. And that's a completely viable choice, isn't it, Flo? Or I can say that I will take very good care to go and find the help I need in safe places. So in other words, I choose somebody, another human being, who, oh, are we gonna have a little roll? Yeah. Oh, boo-boo. It's not the best place for a roll, is it? Yeah, I can go to somebody who is grown up enough and who has dealt with enough of their own fear and their own shame and their own terror that they won't judge mine. Brené Brown, who's a very brilliant academic and researcher and writer, said, always be careful who you take your shame stories to. And being afraid of being judged and being found stupid is very closely connected with shame. And the reason she said be careful who you take your shame stories to is if people haven't dealt with their own shame, they can be terrified of yours. And they may say something which is a little bit unhelpful or even unkind. And it's not because they're horrible people. It's just because their own fears are so strong in them and so unprocessed that they can't deal with yours. So go to someone who's been round the block. Go to somebody who doesn't have anything to prove. Go to somebody who really just cares about the well-being of horses and of humans, and who will be kind and who will take you right back to the beginning and not push you too hard, and understand that you have got yourself into a state of emotional overwhelm and that what you need is someone who can just help you take really gentle baby steps. And connected to this is when you get into that horrible stuckness, when you get emotionally overwhelmed, I always recommend going right back to the beginning. So it might be something as simple as saying to yourself, I'm just going to hang out with my horse. I'm not going to try and do anything. I'm not going to do any training. I'm not going to do any fancy stuff. I'm not going to do any riding. I'm going to give myself a week or a month or 3 months, doesn't matter. And just do this, you know, feed them and sit with them and groom them and let them, oh, are we off? Have we finished? Let them be happy in your presence. Let yourself be happy in theirs. And just don't push yourself. Don't think because I'm not doing this or I'm not trying that, that I'm a failure and a fraud. Spend a little time, you know, working on the fear voices in your head. I call them the gremlins. Sort out where they're coming from. You know, a lot of the I'm not good enough, I'll be judged and found stupid can go back to stuff in your childhood. It might be a very stern teacher or a demanding parent. So you could sort that stuff out, and in the meantime, just give yourself and your horse a rest. You know, I often see these people kind of kicking themselves on, and I think there's no need for that. You don't have to do that. Taking those few weeks out to just reset yourself, reset your expectations, give your emotions a rest, will be as valuable in the way that your horse progresses and the way that your relationship builds as any amount of schooling. So those are my thoughts. I hope they're clear. And look, another posse. And we're all saying a very, very happy Friday night.